Our Premier League season starts tomorrow at 5:30 PM UK time at Goodison Park, and for me, what a fitting way to restart a new Premier League season by facing our former manager as well as Chelsea legends in Frank Lampard. However, sadly for Super Frank, I don't think it's going to be a very happy reunion for himself. We are cooking this summer, and we are cooking with how we are addressing the issues in our squads. Sterling's been signed, Koulibaly's been signed, Chukwuemeka's been signed, and Cucurella. Next week we're adding Fofana, and I need to calm down with these rhymes, but I'm excited for a reason, because for me, Tuchel is finally starting to build a squad in his image, and him and Bowley have been working day in, day out, overtime to get us ready to challenge for next season. Now for me, I feel like we could see some tactical surprises and tweaks from Tuchel this season, especially after I saw that game versus Udinese where Sterling scored, plus Mount, Kai and others excelled in their roles. I think false nine Sterling could be the thing that brings so many surprises for many teams in the Premier League for this season, and the signings we made on top of him are absolute statements that we are here to make something happen in the league. Now, it's quite surprising to me that many people are predicting that we're going to somehow lose our Champions League spot when these clubs have to rise to our levels and try and match us. And for me, the squad is improving, the depth is there, and with the addition now of 5 subs we can use, giving options like that to a manager like Thomas Tuchel, it's a little bit unfair in my opinion, and I feel very excited by what he's going to do and how the rest of this month ends up playing out. So I hope you guys are excited and ready for the start of a new Prem season. In this match preview, I'm going to break down Tuchel's press conference, go through my predicted lineup, as well as give my prediction right at the end. So I hope you guys are excited, because I don't know, I'm feeling very good vibes right now of what could happen this Prem season. I hope you guys feel it as well too. Hit that like button if you do. And now getting back to the video, now we have to start things off by breaking down Thomas Tuchel's first press conference of the new Prem season, and there was a lot of great insight and detail to discuss. I'm going to focus on the major talking points I think you guys are going to find particularly interesting to hear. Now, Tuchel, of course, starts this conference off by being a very happy man that his captain and Azpilicueta will be remaining at the club. For me, he's definitely the best figure to have behind the scenes, and you know, with the transition year we're in, I think reliable figures like that help ease new players in, of course, and keep that harmony in the squad as well too. In this press conference, we got some insight behind Tuchel and Todd Bowley's relationship. Now, he spoke about the difficulties they face and hinted at how many sleepless nights that him and Bowley had to have to keep those communication lines open, of course, because we're trying to sign players to improve the team. He discussed how the sanctions weren't helpful and really delayed our progress in the window. So for me, massive credit goes out to Tuchel and Bowley for being able to put in the work to put us in this position we are currently in, because we have signed some great players to add to this team. Now we move on, and obviously as fans, we want to know how ready is our team for the new season, and I like what Tuchel had to say, and I feel very optimistic. Tuchel was quite positive, and he said that we are some steps further ahead than I guess he originally expected. Now, when I saw that game versus Udinese, I saw the intensity back, I saw some of our fluidity back, I saw a lot of positives that was just like, okay, now I feel confident, now I feel optimistic about what we can do in the Premier League, and it's quite obvious that everything is going to plan behind the scenes. After facing that terrible defeat against Arsenal, of course the confidence was down across the board for all of us, but the way the team have responded has been really exceptional, and now the confidence is definitely back. Now, Tuchel gave us some insight as well behind how challenging this pre-season period had been, and I guess it simply comes down to the fact that he had so many players in that squad to work with. Tuchel himself said that he had to rely upon his staff in particular to help with him, but he also had to adapt as well with these difficult situations. So again, credit goes out to him, and now that players are coming in that he wants, now that more players are leaving slowly as well too, the squad is getting fine-tuned as time goes on. I guess another question that us fans want to know, how close are we to Liverpool and to Man City? Now, Tuchel said himself that he doesn't want to keep the ambitions low, but he doesn't want to create pressure for us as well too. He did say though that, interestingly, we are in a transition year still, which he is actually right about and correct about. A lot of these guys still have to get used to our way of playing and more time building relationships and understandings with each other as well too. However, This is probably the best transition period I've seen in a very long time, and if this is that transition for Tuchel, then I'm looking forward to what this season brings. I keep saying the word insightful for this press conference because it really was. Of course, let's talk about the World Cup. It's coming this winter. I'm going there. Hopefully I can create some content there when I'm there as well too. But Tuchel alluded to the fact that players, of course, are even more focused and prepared because they want to get their places in their squad for their national teams. However, there could be pros and cons behind this. The pros are players are in better preparation, of course, to be ready for the tournament, but at the same time, maybe you're focusing too much on the World Cup. So he said that let's see that period closer to the World Cup and the periods right after the World Cup to see players' mentality informed, to see what really happens, because I think that's going to be key to see how successful we're going to be during the season. And of course, to end things, Raheem Sterling and Koulibaly were mentioned. Of course, Sterling was a signing that Tuchel wanted. He fits him in his ideas, and the fact that he was available on a one-year deal made this deal maybe a bit easier to get. And with Koulibaly, he was in such high praise for Kalidou. I mean, from his mentality to his ability on the field, he can play with either foot, left and right. The body positioning is forever on point. The build-up play, he's a calming presence, he's a leader. He's one of the top signings in the Premier League, one of the top signings in this window in my opinion. Now to end things, Tuchel was asked about having the ability now to choose 5 players from the sub bench, and I really liked his answers. He said that, of course, I agree with him. It made no sense that last season the Premier League was the only league that didn't use 5 subs post-pandemic. Absolutely baffles my mind, but it's typical backwardness in the Premier League sometimes. And he said that he's very excited by this. Of course, he can use more players now, he can impact games tactically even more, and most importantly, you can now reward players who are doing well in training by giving them minutes in games, which will keep that morale up even more. So there you have it, you guys. That was the first press conference out of the way. So now let's move on to the big point and let's discuss our potential predicted lineup in tomorrow's game. Now, I'm usually excited to talk about our predicted lineups, but I think I'm a bit realistic in terms of the lineup I'm expecting to see in tomorrow's game. And I feel like that lineup we saw against Udinese in the first leg, I guess you can call that, against them, will be the same lineup we see start the Premier League, because I think lots of these guys were here first, and yeah, with the addition of 5 subs now, Tuchel has options to rely upon on the bench. So you guys see the team beside me. Up front, Mount on the left, Havertz on the right hand side, Raheem Sterling false 9. For me, I want to see the understanding between these players develop even more. I think with Sterling now as a false 9, he really helps us improve our overload play in the team, because the guy's positioning is so good, his movement in behind is so good, his intelligence behind, what areas he needs to move in to affect the game and be that overload option, I think is going to be key to helping us break past those stubborn defenses and teams that park the bus. Havertz, for me, when you give him that license to make those ghost runs inside the books, when he has that right channel where he has more freedom to influence the game in, I'm expecting to see a lot more from Kai, and I think as Chelsea fans, we want to see big things from him now, because we spent a lot of money. He has been quite mediocre at times, he's shown a few glimpses of promise, but I guess realistically he has struggled because he has still not had that set position and set role in the team. And I think taking away these striker responsibilities, because for me Kai Havertz is not a striker. He hasn't been playing false 9, he's been playing as a number 9 where he's back to go against defences. He is not that type of player. Having Sterling there with Mount and Havertz alongside, making those runs in behind, for me, that is a pretty fluid and effective front 3. And I'm hoping to see a lot more of these guys as the season goes on. But of course, now moving into that midfield, and for me, it probably has to be Jorginho and Kante. I thought Jorginho, he's looking quite sharp, he's looking quite good. And N'Golo Kante as well too, looks like he's back to his best. I feel at times that we can be a bit too impatient with Kante. He just needs a break. That's all the guy needs. He ran the midfield against Udinese. He's one of our best players. Tuchel praises him for a reason. And when Tuchel praises a player, you have to acknowledge that and you have to accept that. We are a much stronger team with Kante in this team, especially with that ability to press. Now that we have 5 subs, I feel like we can protect N'Golo even more as the season goes on, which is going to boost our hopes even more once we get to the latter stages of the season. Now for wing backs, it has to be Ben and it has to be Reece James. Reece James, I think he can have a standout season, really announcing himself as one of the best players in the league. I'm looking forward to seeing that link up play down the right hand side and how he's able to influence things as well too. And Ben, it's nice to see Ben back. When he's playing, you just feel like we have a bit more pace in the team. We have a bit more directness in behind as well too. And now that we have options like him and Cucurella, wow, that is really strong options to use and to rely upon throughout the season. And I'm expecting them to be dominant, and I expected them to be key to helping us create those overloads in Everton's half, make their runs behind, and of course stretch Everton open and create those spaces. And of course in defence, I think it's going to be a very experienced back line of Koulibaly on the left, who already for me one of the best defenders and players in the league. Just seeing that, you know, sometimes when you just see these world-class players, you just instantly know what they're about, what they can do. I think it's going to easily handle the Premier League. And that build-up play from the back, I was worried we lost Rudiger if we would get that back, but we have that in abundance now in Koulibaly, and he is someone I'm really looking towards be that leader in our team. And then alongside him, Silva, Azpilicueta, and Mendy in goal. So that is my predicted first team lineup. Maybe throughout the season, I might have to start talking about potential subs now that we can use 5 off the bench. Now, I'd be a little surprised if Tuchel would use all 5 players from his bench, but at the same time, if he did do that, I get the understanding that maybe he's thinking it's time to maybe boost match fitness and sharpness throughout the entire squad. And if we have a healthy lead versus Everton, or regardless actually, we have the quality on the bench to affect things even more and to balance out those minutes that players need too. But I think some of the players I'm really excited to see. For me, I'm expected to see Cucurella make his debut tomorrow. Maybe in the latter stages, if he started, I would be surprised, but I wouldn't hold it past Tuchel. I'm looking at Mateo Kovacic. I thought he was quite good in that second leg game for Udinese. Guys like Chukwuemeka, are we going to see the young talented teenager get some minutes near the end? I'd like to see that. I want to see what he does playing for us, as well as the ever-present players like Hudson-Odoi. And for me, I'd probably say Loftus-Cheek, pretty based on the fact that he was really outstanding against Udinese, and you know, he showed like a different dimension playing as a wing-back, and I guess the entire fan base started talking about, could he be like a reliable option to use alongside Reece James throughout this season? Let's see what happens, but I like what he does. So right now, we have to end things with me giving my final score and match prediction. Maybe I'm getting too carried away, maybe it's the excitement of a new Premier League season coming. Maybe it's all the players that have been signed left, right and centre throughout this period so far. But for me, I feel like the good vibes are going to continue into tomorrow. And I'm thinking we could get a pretty emphatic win against Everton. I think with Sterling playing as a false nine and that fluidity now, I think that teams may be surprised when it comes to defending against us, because it's like, who do you really pick up when there's no one for your defender to actually mark and stay with? So that's going to be quite amazing for us and hopefully makes us more effective with our build-up play between the lines. So I feel like we could really take advantage of a weaker Everton team. And I'm going for a 3-0 away win. Probably goals from Sterling, Mount. I wouldn't mind seeing Koulibaly scoring from a set piece too. So you guys know that is the match preview out the way. Hope you're excited for tomorrow. Hit that like button and please get involved in the comment section. How do you think our game tomorrow is going to go? And what lineup do you want to see as well? So on that note, I'm EFC, this is Blue Lions TV. I will catch you guys tomorrow for a big day. Cool.